HowExpert! HowExpert Top 10 Gun Safety Tips. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit howexpert.com to learn more. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more HowExpert Top 10 videos in the future. Moving on, let's talk about the HowExpert Top 10 Gun Safety Tips. Number 10. Never handle firearms while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Firearms training requires the pinnacle of concentration and awareness. If you want to have a drink and a good time, great. If you want to handle your firearm, great. Just don't do them together at the same time. Think of it like driving a car, only more dangerous. When you're inebriated, your awareness, reaction time, decision-making capabilities are slowed down, and that's not what you want when handling a firearm. Number 9. Know how your specific gun operates. No, not all firearms are created equally. You're the owner of the firearm. You're responsible for knowing how it works, how to clean it, and who to take it to when it's broken. Just because you know how to shoot your buddy's gun doesn't mean you know how to safely operate all guns. Read the owner's manual that came with the gun. This is something that less than 1% of handgun owners do. So put yourself in the top 1% and read the owner's manual, Elmer Fudd. Number 8. Always wear eye and ear protection when practicing with your firearm. You only get one set of eyes and one set of ears at birth, and replacements, not so much. If you purchased a firearm and ammunition to practice with, you've likely spent about $800–900. Spend that extra $40 and purchase a good pair of safety glasses and earplugs. Once hearing damage occurs, you'll never get it back. Once a hot piece of brass flies back and damages your eye, you'll never get that back. Proper eye protection and hearing protection should be worn at all times while training with live ammunition. Number 7. Always keep your firearm locked and inaccessible to others when not in your care. If you can't see your gun, you have to ensure that no one else can have access to it. Owning a firearm takes responsibility. You can't let it fall into the hands of someone who's not trained how to handle it safely. If you don't have it with you, keep it locked in a safe where someone can't just break into your house and steal it. Never let your gun be accessed by someone who isn't authorized to have it. You should always know the status and location of your firearm. For real. Number 6. Always store your guns and ammunition separately. If an unauthorized person does get your gun, don't let them have the ammunition too. If a stranger, home invader, a child, or someone who is not trained with firearms gains access to your guns, don't give them the added luxury of having access to your ammunition. Keep them stored separately in the interest of self-defense. This is just a double safety barrier to have in place. The gun can't hurt anyone by itself, at least by firing anyway. So keep your ammunition stored separately so accidental injury is less likely to happen. Number 5. Immediately take a gun safety course from a certified instructor. My dad was a guitar player, so I grew up with a guitar in the house. But I still don't know how to play it. I make YouTube videos. Just because you own an Indy 500 racer doesn't mean you can safely drive it down the street. To get proficient at something takes time, dedication, discipline, and the desire to learn, none of which I have. Some people buy a gun just to make themselves feel good. Having the thing does you no good unless you train with it and know how to use it properly. Number 4. Know your target and what is behind it. Yes, bullets shoot through things, including your intended target. This applies when you are training and applies to real life, self-defense encounters. When it comes to training, make sure you have a safety training area and approved location for safety firearms training. Both indoor and outdoor firearms training ranges are specifically designed to protect you and others from unintentional injury, including having a safe backdrop that will safely stop any bullet from leaving the intended training area. Only train with your firearm at an approved training facility. This applies to real-life self-defense situations, trainings, and cleaning and maintenance of your firearm. Whenever you touch that gun, keep the barrel pointed in the safest direction possible. Even when it's unloaded, you ask? Yes. See tip number 1. Number 2. Guns don't normally just go off by themselves. In order for someone to be accidentally injured by a bullet, that bullet has to fire out of the end of the barrel. In order for that bullet to exit the barrel, the primer has to explode. In order for the primer to explode, it must be struck by the firing pin. In order for the firing pin to strike the primer, someone has to press the trigger with proper trigger contact. If you are intentional about if you're paying attention to where your trigger finger is, you won't fire the gun unless you haven't consciously decided to. Don't touch the trigger even when it's unloaded, you ask? Yeah, again, number 1. And the number 1 gun safety tips? Number 1, treat all firearms as if they are loaded. Listen, firearms are dangerous tools. Just like you should respect the weight, speed, power, and potentially destructive capabilities of your vehicles, the item or tool by itself is not inherently dangerous. It only becomes dangerous when the operator of that tool is careless or poorly trained. Treat all firearms as if they are loaded, just like you should always treat your car, just like you should always drive your car like you have the potential to hit someone who runs out on the street in front of you. This doesn't mean you should be scared to drive, but you should use common sense. Be aware. Practice defensive driving. Pay attention to all hazards that could come up so you can react to them appropriately. Think of handling and training with your firearm with the same concepts in mind. Be smart, be safe. If you liked our video, be sure to click like and subscribe for more HowExpert Top 10 videos for all topics from A to Z in the future. Also, let us know what other topics that you want us to do a HowExpert Top 10 video in the future down in the comments below. Thank you. Have an amazing day. Take care. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides for all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit howexpert.com to learn more.